Mic check 1 2. Yes, I. Yeah, man. All right. Good evening, good night. Another night coming to you live from the West Coast. Yeah, man. And this is Wild Thoughts with Jovi on JMRB Media. Yeah, man. So we have a lot of things to say right now. We have a lot of things to talk about. You know, like Bob Marley say, I got a lot of things to talk about, you know? One of the things we're gonna talk about the Usain Bolt thing we are going on media right now. And the live here really right now is really about Jamaica, nothing else. Yeah, man, we're not traveling the world tonight, just strictly Jamaica tonight. Whole heap of things, crocus bag of things we talk. Whole heap, you know? Yeah, man. So we're just going there right now, you know, cause as we say, a whole heap of things we talk about, so we're not really waste no time, you know? So Usain Bolt do a interview the other day, you know, with I was going to say, you know, nightly fix. That's what I was going to say. But it's now the fix. It's as long gone. It has been long gone since it was the nightly fix. Now it's the fix. But a very popular podcast in a Jamaica, coming from out of Jamaica. Proud of them. You know, I always watch them. I always love watching them, you know. Sometimes serious, sometimes filled with laughter. Sometimes I vex with them too. That's how you go one at a time, you know. Yeah, but Usain Bolt did an extensive interview where he covered a lot of things. But the main thing in the media right now is when he spoke up about his money. You know, and as everybody know that he was shafted or frauded, you know, out of, you know, 2 billion, over $2 billion in Jamaican money. Yeah. You know, a lot of people say 12 million US, but me I say $2 billion. That's a lot of money. That's $2,000 million. That's a whole heap of money. So we are gonna say the bigger one to make it sound like it make it sound very egregious, because it's very egregious. Yeah, man. $2 billion in Jamaican money, Jamaican dollars. Usain Bolt was robbed in this investment house, or yeah, our brokerage house called SSL. You know, where it says Stocks Unlimited, something like that. You know, and so far, one person has been charged. You know, Jean Ann Panton. You know, who was a wealth advisor, as them say. You know, and there's been a probe. You know, the finance minister came out. You know, very proud and bold and braggadocious, and said, you know, no stones is gonna be left unturned. You know, the FBI is gonna come in, and all type of people is gonna come in, and nobody now come out. Them a shut down everything, right? Well, not quite so. You know, them hire some financial or accounting or audit or forensic auditors from, you know, the United States. No, not from the United States, from England. They came in and do some forensic audit. We're not so sure about the FBI. Last time I checked, there was no FBI, you know, because some official that was in charge of the interview said that there wasn't any FBI in play right now, because them can handle it, you know. So Usain Bolt is not pleased, you know, with the progress of the investigation and prosecution, you know. Nigel Clark, you know, the former finance minister, who is in charge of the FID and the FSC, who was carrying out the investigation. Or I think the FSC is a regulating body that regulate, you know, the you know, them type of business, you know, the financial investment type of business in a Jamaica, right? Also the BOJ. But the investigative body now is really the FID, Financial Investigative Division, right? Usain Bolt is not pleased about what they're doing, but Nigel Clark said that was finished before him leave. Him get a job over the IMF, and him gone. You know, so Usain Bolt is not pleased, you know. Him not get no update. Him not really see nothing go on, you know. You know, he has indicated, you know, in so many words that, you know, there were communications to him from government officials, you know, as to him either getting justice, you know, or people being held accountability, and possibly him getting back some, if not all, of his money. But as him said, there's no progress, you know, as far as he can see. And his lawyer came out and did an interview on CVM TV, and he has also expressed the same sentiments as well. So I'm gonna play that interview shortly, and you're gonna hear that, right? But before I go into that interview, Usain Bolt has came out. Usain Bolt has came under attack from members of the Jamaica Labour Party, who is now the governing party, you know, in Jamaica as we speak right now. They wasn't so pleased with Usain Bolt speaking out, you know, for money, you know, which I find to be, you know, kind of weird, you know, for want of better term, you know, because as a government who regulate, you know, a financial investment house, you know, you should be, you know, the lead, you know, charting the course or chanting, you know, and out there, you know, holding people accountable, because at the end of the day, you are the one who giving them a license, you know. So I find that weird, but I don't know. I just think that everything goes wrong. This people come out, you know, aggressive, you know, to defend their government, and sometimes it's not necessary because in this instance, it's not necessary. We're talking about Usain Bolt, you know, but there was shots thrown, there was shots fired, in Usain Bolt's direction, and I mean proverbial, figuratively, from the Jamaica Labour Party or Jamaica Labour Party representatives, right? Um, Nationwide also did a piece on it, and they said, Nationwide, I'm talking about the radio station. They said that the money never reached his account. That's what they said initially. I'm going to tell you what them say afterwards. Right? But that's what them say initially. Right? But that's what's going on as it relates to Usain Bolt. Money and him not feeling pleased in the direction or the progress that have been made on that issue. So before we go no further, let me play the interview with Usain Bolt's lawyer, and then we can talk again.
Thank you, sir, for joining us. I'm trying to. Hey, I'm doing it in front of me. All right, sorry about that, sir. So, first, let me get from you what you make of this furor that's taking place over the comments Mr. Boat made about the funds that are missing from his account.
All right. First of all, I think we should be fair to Mr. Boat and understand when he said, the government to give me back my money, or some words to that effect, or the government must do something about it. One must understand that Mr. Bolt is not an attorney. He was not speaking in any forensic way to say the government has my money. He's saying that we have a government in Jamaica. Something has gone wrong at a financial institution. Something must be done about it. The matter has been moving along slowly, both in the criminal court and in the civil court. Now, persons ought not to ascribe to Mr. Bolt a political motive because he says the government should do something. That's very petty and without any merit whatsoever. But what has happened is that persons have now come down on Mr. Bolt and are saying, look, it's your fault why you have lost your money. And they are now entering into this victim blame, where you blame the person who suffered the loss or the damage and say it's your fault why you suffer this misfortune. And this is very, very unfortunate. And this is something that we believe we should discontinue, and we should understand that he's entitled to demand that the government does something about it. And there are reasons why he's so entitled. One of them is that the FSC, the body that is set up to regularize, manage, control, and see to it that financial institutions are compliant with the law, gave a certificate each year to SSL. So anybody who goes there, including the Prime Minister who had an account there, government departments and several members of parliament who had accounts there, they relied on the fact that the entity obtained a certificate from the Financial Services Commission, the FSC, and therefore they presume properly that the place is in good standing and a safe place to put your money. So you can't blame Mr. Bolt for going there. You would have to blame all the other persons who went there.
So
So
what
we
is
find that he's demanding that the government should do something about it. Is the type of demand that citizens make when they are not satisfied that a matter being investigated by various government entities is going as quickly as he would like it to go. He was not ascribing any political favor, political support, or political condemnation. He was just demanding government action, which is common and
all
is
right? So
said by people, persons all over
so
when
so,
something
so
happens
when you say
and they are not
government,
satisfied that it's being dealt with quickly.
so when you say government action, sir, what specifically, if anything, is Mr. Ball requesting?
Okay, the matter is being investigated, and one person has been charged. That person could be described as a low level employee or officer of the entity. It is more than curious that nobody else has been charged. And how can it be that not only Mr. Bolt's money, but all the other persons, including several senior citizens, their monies disappear from this entity and nobody is being called upon? The officers, the senior persons who would have to transfer those funds. Because bear in mind that Mr. Bolt's funds were not taken in a basket or a scandal bag and put on a counter or put on the floor. It was bank transfer. It was transferred from a financial institution to SSL. So how did it leave SSL without a trace? It's not someone took up a bag of money and walk out. Checks and bank transfers were done to move this money. Why this can't be found? What has happened? What has happened to the computers that disappear mysteriously? Why are we not having fulsome disclosure of the investigation of this matter? And why nobody else is even being interrogated that we know of?
Is there
Why?
attestable proof, sir, that the funds actually got to the account? Because one of the accusations that's out there now is that the money was stolen before it actually got to the account. You've said
Okay?
it differently.
Well, let's deal with that. Who has the record, the information that the money was stolen and was not sent to SSL? Who has that information? And why not take it to the police and identify the person who stole the money? Why? Why this big red herring without a head nor a tail? Why? Well, let me tell you, Mr. Bolt's money was sent to SSL by bank transfers. The investigations conducted by Mr. Ken Tomlinson, who was put in charge by the FSC, his records confirm that Mr. Bolt's money was sent there. The persons who are saying it was stolen, which started at a certain media house, has not presented one bit of evidence to say it was stolen on the 10th of March and the amount stolen was $5 or $6. A red herring has been thrown across the path, and the question is, what's the motive for doing that?
I want to ask you what you think the motive is for doing that, and what do you make of
Sorry?
the. I want to ask you what you think is the motive for doing that, and what do you make of sections of the portions of the investigation being leaked without the public or yourself or your client being apprised of the entire situation?
Well, two things to be said about that. I am not aware that any part of the report from the investigators has been leaked. I'm not aware of that. If persons are saying they got parts of it by a leakage, then That would be something to be condemned and to question the reliability of the investigation, because they have taken bits and parts and leak it to their media of choice. Then you need to know why and why at this point it is being leaked, especially given the fact that the learned DPP is in today's newspaper as saying she's now ready to go to trial.
Are
What is happening?
are you and your client a part of the investigation? As in, have the authorities been reaching out to you or your client to get further information about what might have
No,
taken
we have
place?
not been contacted for further information, and we have not been contacted by the investigators or the prosecutor regarding this leakage of information that the money never got to SSL. We have not been contacted about that. And we don't know from which source the leakage took place and how the leakage went to one entity and what's the power, right, and privilege of that entity to which the leakage went.
Can you speak, sir, a little bit about? I know that your client was on a podcast earlier this week, expressing what is understandable frustration about the situation. But
Yes.
can you speak further to what his considerations are, particularly for a country that he has given so much to, and the fact that he is now down millions of US dollars, and he seems not to be getting the type of response that he wants. Is he comfortable remaining here, or
Is he comfortable with what?
remaining here, or is he comfortable, or is he confident in the institutions that we have?
His confidence in the institutions we have has been shaken for obvious reasons. He has lost a lot of money. He is being kept abreast of what is happening in the courts and how the matter is being proceeded with. Um, he's not comfortable with the way we are being informed about the results of the investigations. We know that foreigners were brought here, investigations were complete, we are told, but his attorneys have not been afforded the privilege of even looking at any results from these investigations. And the reports would have been handed over to some government department. And if they have been leaked, maybe persons at those government departments or entities considered disclosure to a certain media is more important, more urgent than disclosure to the victims or the attorneys of the victims, which would be an appalling act of corruption were that to be the case.
Have you made any overtures, sir, to get further information? And have you
Yes,
made
yes,
so?
we have constantly asked for information on various matters that we consider we should be made aware of.
What has been the response or the outcome?
We have not gotten the responses we need in all instances.
And you've said in a release that you sent out
Sorry,
today.
it's a what? I didn't hear you.
I'm saying you sent out a statement today saying that you would be making certain evaluations to determine what next legal actions you will take. Have you come to some conclusion about where you
No,
will
not
head?
yet. We have not. We are awaiting certain responses and further and better information on certain matters.
All right. So, as we close, sir,
Sorry, has what?
is there anything that you would want to say to the authorities or to the public who might be looking on and wondering what is taking place?
Yes, I want the public to understand that Mr. Bolt was in an interview which was very informal, and he spoke like a typical Jamaican. Mr. Bolt has no interest or intention to become in any political discussion or interpretation of his misfortune. When he speaks of the government should do something about it, he's speaking as a layman and not as an attorney. He's not saying that it's a political decision why he has suffered and it's anything to do with politics. He's just saying, do something about it. And the government did promise to do something about it. Dr. Clark, the then finance minister, did say heads would roll. So there's nothing wrong with what Mr. Bolt has said, and we should never interpret it as meaning he's anti-government or in any political canvassing or supporting one party or the other. Nothing like that. It's typical of Jamaicans whenever anything happens that the government is partially responsible for, and the government is somewhat responsible for allowing SSL to keep going all these years when they knew that there was a problem there and they kept issuing them with license. So there's nothing wrong with his demand.
Well, let me ask you
It's
this:
proper.
do you, sir, believe that there is any political malfeasance at play here? Um, I'll leave the question at that.
I would say that the coincidence of certain persons coming forward to give legitimacy to the allegation that Mr. Bolt's money went the wrong place is uncomfortable and is not consistent with a general view in the public. That's what I would put it.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Gordon.
You're most welcome, sir. Have a good afternoon.
All right, there you have it. That's an extensive interview by Usain Bolt's lawyer, Linton P. Garden. Yeah, so he had a lot to say, and that interview was done 2 days ago. So yeah. Before I do any further comment on this topic, I must preface by saying that the election, the general election, is constitutionally due towards the end of the year, around September to between September and December, somewhere about there. The election is either the current government, which is the prime minister, the most honorable, Andrew Holness, will call the election, or the Constitution will call the election. One of those is gonna happen. So we'll see, right? I also want to say that it's clear. I mean, if you follow Jamaican media, it's clear. It's glaringly clear that Nationwide News Network is politically aligned with the Jamaica Labour Party, right? And I'm not saying that there's no other radio station in Jamaica that is not aligned with the other political party, but it's glaringly clear. They're one of the most popular Jamaican radio station in Jamaica right now, and for many reasons. One, because they always come under fire for putting out government aligned news. Some of them false, and some of them true, right? So that's one of the things. And as you hear him say that and when I said him, I'm talking about Usain Bolt's lawyer, Linton Garden, that he's wondering where did they get that information from, because him as Usain Bolt's lawyer hasn't been privy is not privy to that kind of information. And especially you have the DPP, which is the director of public prosecution, who's getting ready to prosecute the case. So those are information that's supposed to be held tight-lipped, right? And if they're going to be disclosed, they need to be disclosed, on a need-to-know basis, right? But if you're going to release any part of the investigation, at least release the entire thing to the public, so the public can decipher for themselves what really happened, right? It also strange that the DPP did an interview recently. I want to say not longer than a week ago, and she indicated that the investigation, she was waiting for documents, in order to proceed with prosecution, or to make a decision as to who else is going to be added to the suspect list, in excess of Jean and Pantan. So far we haven't heard anything about that, but all of a sudden Usain Bolt came out and now she is ready to prosecute the case. So that's kind of strange to me. But anyway, she's gonna prosecute Jean and Pantan. Another thing that is glaringly clear, right? Is that's a lot of money, because number one, is Usain Bolt is not the only one that is being frauded, right? There's I think it's about 200 people, right? And it's to the tune of about 31 million US, which is billions of Jamaican dollars, tens of billions of Jamaican dollars, so to speak, right? Or if you want to say that Usain 12 is about 2 billion, if you add another 12 on that, so that's another two, so that's 4, and then so that's what, 24. So they say about 31, right? So probably less than 10 billion, Jamaican dollars, right? Yeah, that's a lot of money, right? I kind of lose my train of thought. I'm trying to catch it back, but that's a lot. Yeah, that's a lot of money for one person to take, and nobody can prove what she did with it. Like there's nothing to say that she took, 30 or 31 million US, and this is what she did with it. She bought, a 100-foot yacht, or a 200-foot yacht, or a 150-foot yacht. She built a hotel over there. I mean, she opened like all these businesses. There's nothing to say where the money went. We just say that they just said that this lady took the money, but there's no evidence as to what she did with it. I mean, that's kind of strange. You know what I mean? Initially, when the thing came out, the lady, when she was arrested, that's Gina Pandit. She was arrested she was arrested in a wheelchair, a neck brace, and I think she had a cane, right? And I'm thinking to myself that I think she's a fall person, right? They already calculated, because people don't spend a lot of time in prison for financial crimes, or what they call white collar crimes, right? They don't spend a lot of time in prison for those type of crimes, right? So they probably already calculated, like, okay, you're gonna spend 5 years, but you're sick, you know what I mean? You're in a wheelchair, you have all these ailments and illness. They're not gonna put you in a real prison. You're probably gonna spend 5 years, house arrest, things of that nature. So I'm thinking that that probably be one of the plots. You know what I mean? She confessed to stealing, about 20% of $4 million, right? That she identified on the table, right? And she signed a sworn statement, but also came back and said that she was coerced, you know, by the powers that be within that company. So there's much to see and extrapolate, especially from the case when it commences. Okay. Um, Another thing is that this lady here, Vanessa Phillips, right? And she's a member of the Jamaica Labour Party, right? Um, she put out a tweet saying, and here's the tweet. She said, end quote, did you know? Did you get advice or directive from the government, directly or indirectly, regarding making the investment you made and then lost? Was it all privately done? Have you sued the person who managed your affairs? These questions, if answered, will give us here perspective. Usain Bolt, he clapped back at that statement and said, "You try." He said, and he said, "quote." Oh, I was supposed to say end quote on hers, but anyway, Usain Bolt, open quotation, right? Trying to victim blame me, victim shame me. Don't be a syndicate, end quote, right? So that's where that ends, right? So I want to say yes. Responding to Vanessa Phillips, says tweet on X, right? Yes, the government did indirectly advise Usain Bolt to put his money in SSL. Yes. First and foremost, right? The government issued them a license, right? So the government is giving you a clearance and giving you full indication that this entity is legitimate. This is a legitimate entity for you to put your money in, and it's not like it's not to say that they invested the money and the investment that a vehicle or stocks that they bought with his money, went bellied up, right, and they lost all his money. Right? This is fraud, right? From all indication that we receive, through whichever source, this is fraud, right? So a government entity, the FSC, right, issued a license, right? And as far as I learned, it's every year that license renewed, right? And that's an indication to the public, to whomever in the public, that this place is safe. We have done our checks and balances, and we feel comfortable giving these people a license, right, to invest, right? There has been a copious amount of reports from the said FSC, right, that this is a troubled institution. They has failed, certain audits. Right, and there's certain things that they're supposed to tidy up that wasn't being done, and that's been year after year after year, right? At one point, it was reported when the news broke that Usain Bolt, among others, lost their money. It was said by the director of the FSC at that time, who resigned, by the way, that there was a report sent to the Minister of Finance, who claimed that he didn't receive that, only later to say, hey, look, he found it somewhere in the office. And it was an adverse report on said SSL, right? So you guys dropped the ball. So of course you're culpable, and of course you over year after year advises people indirectly. Also, the government invests money in this institution as well, the NHT, right? among other government institutions, invest money to the tune of over $700 million. Right. So if I see a government entity investing in a private entity, right, I'm gonna say that's safe. Right. Same thing. If other, a noteworthy investor, say for example, in Jamaica, DNG, Grace Mackerel, or one of those big, I say Grace Mackerel, but just Grace, right? One of those big companies investing in SSL, I'm gonna follow their lead. I'm gonna say, okay, this is safe, right? And once again, I said this is fraud. So yes, your statement is pretty much invalid, right? The government did indirectly advises Usain Bolt, and as his lawyer rightly said, yeah, they invested money in there. So, and even the prime minister, and that came out on the IC report, that was probing into the prime minister financial affairs, where he himself issues a statement that he had at one point 143,000 US dollars in SSL, right? So among other government officials, right, who has money in there. So yes, by all indication, yes, they did advise Usain Bolt. Yes, and yes, of course, he spoke to other persons, within the institution before he put his money there. But that's a moot statement right there. You just yeah, that's an invalid statement. But also for me, I think Usain Bolt, he see what the government is up to behind the scenes. They may have been telling him stuff, but at this point, you can actually see what they're up to. And it's also widely reported that the owners and directors of the company SSL is also aligned with the government. So there's a lot to unravel there, right? Allegedly, right? Yeah, but he can clearly see what the government is up to. They are not taking responsibility to see if they can get anything out of this, accomplished. So I think his fear of bringing down the country, he should just, kick that to the side, and he should go on 60 Minutes and do an interview. And that's what I think. He should really hammer this. He should really hammer the government, hammer Jamaica, because Jamaica let him down. Right? Jamaica let him down, and he should no bars hold. He should just hammer Jamaica, right? Call CNN, Fox, whomever, right? All the big media outlets overseas, BBC, you name it. But 60 Minutes, if he can get a documentary done, documentary done, right? And hammer the country over that kind of BS, right? So that's where I leave it on that one, right? Let me see what else I want to talk about today, right? As I said, there's a lot to really unravel and talk about, but yeah, so yeah, the next thing, right? The government, which is majority, and it's mostly politics today. I'm not gonna lie, it's mostly politics today. The government with its majority passed in the House of Representatives, right? A bill to make Portmore a 15th parish in Jamaica land we love, right? I'm gonna play some snippets, mostly audio. Yes, I can show it, but I don't really want to show the audio Me no want to show no video, right? Me just gonna play the audio so you can hear what them say. On this one I'm gonna play multiple audio, so this one is gonna be kind of long and drawn out, but bear with me. It's government parliament politics, so it not go boring neither, right? So just listen while me play through some of these videos, and then kind of do my commentary on it. Okay. So let's start it off right here.
To create 14. Jamaica has had 14 parishes since May 1, 1867. Today, therefore, nearly 158 years later, we are beginning the process of giving formal recognition and further empowerment to the people of the largest community in the Caribbean. We are providing through this bill, Mr. Speaker, tabled in this House, the civic and the practical development opportunities that will allow Portmore to achieve this outstanding milestone and a fulfillment, Mr. Speaker, of a commitment made to the electorates of this country by the Jamaica Labour Party while campaigning for public office. Much has been said over many years across political administration about the importance of Portmore and the aspirations of the people who live and work there. I can personally attest to that because I started out in Portmore on my own. I spent over 2 decades, Mr. Speaker, living in Portmore, and I observed and I've seen the expansion and the rise of Portmore from a very advantage, from a point that I could touch and feel the sentiments of Portmore. The bill confers the parish of Portmore. It seeks to significantly widen the door of economic and social and political development for the people of Portmore by increasing their ability, Madam Speaker, to chart their own course and to be more effective to advocate and to manage resources available for their allocation. The transformation of Portmore into a parish is not only an option that we are using, Mr. Speaker, but it is giving them as a community the right to exercise that freedom, because we're talking about the largest community in the Caribbean. And so, Mr. Speaker, this administration diligently work to change the total architecture of Jamaica into a fully modern economic and social political country that our people here and abroad are proud to live in and proud to refer as their own. Let us move to the bill. Let us get down to the business while we are here. Clause 1 contains the short title of the bill, Counties and Parishes Amendment Act 25. Clause 2, amend Section 3 of the Principal Act, Counties and Parishes Act, to state that the municipality of Portmore shall become one parish, including Elsha Hills, Goat Island, the city of Portmore, which will be the parish capital. This clause also specifically excludes Lakes Pen, Grange Lane, Lime Tree, Grove, Quarry Hill from the parish of Portmore. Clause 3, remove the words section 5 and 6 from the subsection section 4 of the original act and replace with the word sections A, section 3AA and 5.6. Clause 4, outline the specific description of the area of Portmore in a schedule that is divided into 3 parts. Part 1 of the schedule provide the written description of what will become the parish of Portmore. Part 2 is the map of the parish of Portmore.
This bill was tabled on the 28th of January 2025. That date marks a sad day in the history of this parliament.
Yeah, so there you go. The bill was presented, and now you have the representative from the opposition, the People's National Party, right? Fitz Jackson, right? And he's there to oppose the bill. So we're gonna listen in on that part as well. So here we go. And then actually later on we're gonna play the president of the People's National Party, Mark Golden, and his opposition to the bill as well. So let's carry on.
Mr. Speaker, it's interesting. I sat there and I listened to the minister did this bill. What was significant? He said, this is of historical significance. Over 150 years since a parish has been created. For that significance, he said the least ever said in this house in the introduction of a new bill. Mr. Speaker, for the 30 years that I have been in this house, I have never heard that minimal.
You think volume.
You keep quiet. Mr. Speaker, this bill entitled An Act to Amend the Counties and Parishes Act to declare City Municipality of Portmore the 15th parish of Jamaica and 4 connected matters. Mr. Speaker, this bill would have been most appropriately entitled the Gerrymandering of Political Boundaries Bill of 2025. A bill
if we can have, let us.
Mr. Speaker, nowhere in my presentation or nowhere written within the bill or in my remarks was the word gerrymandering. So I would ask the member not to rename, which is his intention, Mr. Speaker. Okay?
A bill, Mr. Speaker, such a bill is for the resurrection of political tribalism in Jamaica. Mr. Speaker, I made the remark, Mr. Speaker, about the sparsity of merit that the minister attached to this bill that he presented. He spoke about increasing governance and all of that. When you read the MOA, it is envisioned that the designation of parish status and the municipality will strengthen its lobbying capacity, empower its citizens to more independently chart the course of development rather than being subject of the decisions made for the parish of St. Catherine. Mr. Speaker, the content of this MOA is clear that either the minister never read the charter of the Portmore municipality under the Municipal Act, because all of those things are provided for in this currently. All. Mr. Speaker, I read from the Municipal Act Charter of Portmore Municipality. Objects of the municipality to provide for efficient and accountable management of the affairs of the municipality of Portmore, to institute such measures as are necessary for ensuring that the management of the affairs of the municipality are conducted in a manner which is responsive to the needs and aspirations of the inhabitants of Portmore. It's here. And it goes further. To provide a governance mechanism which will enable the inhabitants of Portmore to participate in determining the social services and regulatory framework which will best satisfy their needs and expectations. And it goes on. Verify whether public resources and authority are utilized or exercised as the case may be to their satisfaction. To their satisfaction. It's here. And it goes on. To vigorously pursue the development opportunities which are available to Portmore and to institute such measures as are necessary for achieving public order and the provision of civic amenities so as to enhance the quality of life of the inhabitants. To promote social cohesiveness and a sense of civic duty, responsibilities among all inhabitants and stakeholders in Portmore in order to facilitate collective action and commitment towards achieving the goal of a harmonious and stable community. This is here. Nothing will be created by what they're seeking to do. But you know what, Mr. Speaker? You know what, Mr. Speaker? In this bill lies a slew of deception. A slew of deception. If you look at clause, this is a bill with 9 clauses. If you look at clause 8, a simple one-sentence section 8, the Charter of the Municipality of Portmore, 2015, is repealed. One sentence, repeals the charter. You know what else is in this charter that they're repealing, Mr. Speaker? You know what they are ripping apart from the people of Portmore, Mr. Speaker? They are ripping away from Portmore their right to elect their own mayors. That is what is provided for in the charter. And those are not my opinion. This is here. Read it. This is what is in the charter. Mr. Speaker, one of the reasons why I feel very strongly about this matter, the people of Portmore between 1994, 1995, through to 2002, 2003, they had extensive consultations right across the municipality for over 8 years. This was not a construct of the PNP government in 2003. This represents what the people of Portmore demanded. What the PNP merely did was, one, listen to the people and facilitated what they aspired to achieve. That's what brings this about. We and this side take no ownership of it. It belongs to the people of Portmore. We never gloat about we give Portmore a municipality. We didn't. The government of the day did not give the people of Portmore a municipality. The people of Portmore fought for it, and they got it. They got it. Mr. Speaker, what else? What else did they sought and got in this charter?
Okay. So that was Fitz Jackson, right? That's his opposition to the bill. And as you can hear him say that there was already a charter, a lot of the things that Desmond McKenzie presented in the bill, he said that there was a charter around 1995 up to about 2003, somewhere about, right? There was extensive consultation with the residents of Portmore, and they put together a charter, and a lot of what is in the current bill, right, is already in a charter. Whatever protections that they're claiming to, that this conversion of Portmore to a parish will add to the residents of Portmore. His retort or rebuttal to it is that they already have a charter that achieved that and a lot more, right? So and one of the things, because one of the things is that this bill does, it repeals that charter, right? And what he's also saying, by extension, they are repealing, the people of Portmore's right to elect their own mayor, right? He also classified as a gerrymandering bill, right? And quick and brief, what gerrymandering is that you're redrawing a political map. So you have say for example you have a box, right? Or just let's just keep it real. You have an area that has boundaries, right? And it has 100 people in there, 200, or say 2,000 people, right? And they are you have one side of it is that supports a certain political party, right? Or you have the bigger half that support a certain political party, and then the smaller portion of it supports the other party. Basically, what you do is that you draw a line, and you know that count your people in, and just call it, this is a new area, this is a new municipality, this is a new district, this is a new parish, right? Or you can just chop it off over there, and then you can redraw up that area that you chop off, and you create what you call 3 or 4 new municipalities or new constituencies, and that adds seats, right? So now you're creating like 4 new seats, or you can say, okay, well, this now is an extra seat if you just chalk it off into just one area, right? In the United States, they call it redistricting, right? Or redrawing of the political map, right? Which is pretty much the same thing, gerrymandering, right? It's a roundabout way, which is illegal, by the way, to create political advantage. So that's the opposition's angle on it. That number one, you have already the protections that you're trying to achieve in a charter, right? That is protected under the law, right? And the other angle is that this is gerrymandering. You're trying to seek political advantage by creating a new parish. So that's one of their angles. Now I'm gonna play let me see here. This is the political the president or the leader of the People's National Party. And to be honest with you, this video I'm gonna actually show. Why? Because I like him. You know what I mean? I have a right to be biased if I want, right? And I'm biased towards Mark Golden. I'm not gonna lie about that. So I'm definitely gonna show his video. Right. So let's start right there. Let's back this up. And this is him. And this video is for consistency, right? I'm gonna show him actually opposing the idea from 3 years ago. So to show that it's nothing new that he's in opposition of that bill, right? So let's go ahead and do this.
People of Portmore are not fully engaged. We need to mobilize the people of Portmore so that they understand what the issues are and agitate for proper democratic governance procedures to play out. I don't think that the fact that Parliament looked at this, you know, a small group of parliamentarians held some hearings, but the people of Portmore were not fully engaged. It was really a very cursory attempt at that. And it's for us to mobilize the people on the ground and so that they can agitate and have their views heard. And to the extent that those are ignored, then the political price will be paid by those who ignore the wishes of the people and the right of the people to be properly consulted on such a fundamental issue.
Okay, so that's Mark Golding 3 years ago, right? So this is him 4 days ago. Okay, let's do this and let's do that.
Mr. Speaker, it is well known that the opposition does not support this legislation. Such a far-reaching political maneuver as to cast aside Portmore's special status as Jamaica's only city municipality and convert it into a parish ought to emanate from the people who it directly affects. It is the people of Portmore who should decide which way they wish to go. Instead, the process of consultation with the people of Portmore leading up to this point was mere political window dressing. The call for the people of Portmore to decide their future via a referendum, which has been made by this side, has been ignored. Instead, this government is ramming this legislation down their throats. Mr. Speaker, if this legislation becomes law, it will deprive the residents of Portmore of their important rights of democratic participation to directly elect their mayor, and for their citizens associations to have rights of audience on their city council. Those rights for which the people of Portmore had advocated and were granted by law are unique in Jamaica and represent the high point of democratic innovation in local governance. It is a deplorable travesty and an aberration for those democratic rights of the people of Portmore to be removed without their consent or approval by this government abusing its parliamentary majority. Mr. Speaker, the two current mayors of Portmore and St. Catherine were both duly elected in February last year, less than a year ago, in fact. One directly by the people in Portmore, and the other by the elected local representatives of the people in St. Catherine. They both hold office as an expression of the democratic will of the people. This bill will destroy the expressed will of the people. It will remove the mayor of Portmore, who was chosen democratically by the residents of Portmore, and it will also result in the much reduced parish of St. Catherine suddenly having a majority of JLP councillors so that they can remove the current elected mayor and install one of their own. That is the effect of this legislation. Mr. Speaker, it is a deplorable travesty and an aberration for this government to abuse its parliamentary majority to negate the will of the people and remove their duly elected representatives from critical leadership positions that they now hold. This bill violates the people's choice last year. We reject the abuse of Parliament to reverse the will of the people as expressed through free and fair elections. It is wrong, and we call on Jamaica to stand up against it. As my colleague, Mr. Speaker, as my colleague, Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine has said, this legislation is gerrymandering legislation. What is gerrymandering? It means shifting up electoral boundaries to keep your supporters in and or to move the other side supporters out. And that is exactly what is happening here. The principal objective of this legislation is to recast existing constituency boundaries of 2 seats to provide a political advantage to the Jamaica Labour Party. That member
rise on a point of order, Mr. Speaker. The bill that was tabled, and I opened the debate, and we are debating, in that bill includes no provisions about removal of political boundaries. Mr. Speaker, the member is misleading the House. This Parliament, Mr. Speaker, cannot alter or create political boundaries. We are creating a parish boundary, Mr. Speaker. We are creating a parish. And they must stop, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the minister has made that point repeatedly, and it is disingenuous.
Of course, yeah.
Under our constitution, constituencies cannot straddle parish boundaries. And when you configure parish boundaries as this bill does, running through the middle of existing constituencies, you are ipso facto reconfiguring the constituency boundaries. Stop deceiving the people. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, the principal objective of this legislation is to recast the existing constituency boundaries of 2 seats to provide a political advantage to the JLP. This is flagrant gerrymandering and is an abuse of the democratic process of this parliament. Mr. Speaker.
All right, I'm gonna stop that one right there. Okay, and as you can see, well, first of all, who is not or prized up or abreast or familiar with Jamaican politics and Jamaican parliamentary procedures, when someone rises on the point of order, the person making their presentation has to sit. So when you saw Mark Golden sat earlier, is that another person, which was Desmond McKenzie. He raised a point of order, which means that he wants to either correct or question whatever Mark Golden was saying in his speech. But however, you can see that was a ineffective correction, as Mark Golden expressed that if you're converting a place or an area or a community to a parish that have constituency boundaries running through it and running all over it, then you're kind of casting out that constituency, which means that there is Portmore was once considered part of St. Catherine, so there's different political boundaries or different constituency boundaries running through Portmore, incorporating some of those people into a much larger constituency within the St. Catherine parish. By making Portmore a parish, you're pretty much segregating Portmore from those constituency, or those people now don't have a constituency, because when they register under a certain constituency, now those people don't have a constituency. Now the Electoral Commission has to go through and redraw a boundary within that new parish. So basically, that's why he say you're ipso facto, or I would say de facto, or by compulsory, you are redrawing political boundaries. So that's why it can be labeled as gerrymandering. So yeah, that was a failed correction there. So that was Mark Golding, feverishly and vehemently opposing the idea of Portmore being a parish. It is going to be a parish. You know what? Before I say that, let me go into this piece right here. And this is Everett Warmington, who is a JLP member, voicing his ambitions, of making Portmore a parish, in a speech he did some time ago. So let's play this one, and then I think after I play that one, I'm gonna give my take on it. Let me see here. Let's play this part here.
constituency conference on Sunday said the People's National Party will no longer be competition in the Portmore division once the capital is declared a parish. He said with the candidate selections and boundary changes, he is confident that the JLP can establish a stronghold in the East Central St. Catherine division heading into the upcoming local government election.
The most difficult of the three was Portmore Panel, and we have made it much easier now. I've been fighting before 2011, when we had the last boundary change, that Portmore should not go to Spanish Town. And today I'm happy to say that we have the boundary that we wanted all along. Quarry Hill, Lakes Bend, Lime Tree Grove, Grange Lane and that side will no longer be in Portmore Pine. So the whole of them paying people on the left, then gone at Denny's Daily.
Member of Parliament for Southwest St. Catherine, Everald Warmington. Meanwhile, Mr. Warmington has asserted that the Jamaica Labour Party will have control of the Portmore Municipal Corporation once the separation is made.
I can say further, when we take Portmore off of St. Catherine, it's a different ballgame across there. Where we're 41 seats, now 42 seats. Out of these 42, PNP, you have 12 in Portmore. We won 2, they won 10. Yet they won the St. Catherine Parish Council by 1 seat. 1 seat even though they carry 10 from Portmore. Now, give them back them PMP 10. Leave us alone over here. And it means that under no circumstances PMP can ever win the St. Catherine Parish Council again. Never. Yes,
Okay, so yeah, so that's that part of it. That's Everald Warmington, a very prominent member of the Jamaica Labour Party, and also a very prominent member of the present government, right? And as you can hear there clearly, he's stating his ambition in making Portmore a parish, a 15th parish, right? And as you can hear in that speech, that's all political, you know. As you can hear it, right? That once, you know, Portmore becomes a parish, they can finally have control over that municipality, and so on and so forth, right? So I'm pretty sure, right? It is gonna pass, right? It is gonna pass the Senate, right? And then it's gonna go into law, right? From the election in 2020, during the pandemic, the Jamaica Labour Party, they garner a lot of seats. They have 49 seats. The People's National Party has 14 seats, right? So they have a very large majority in the House of Representatives, right? So it already passed the House of Representatives. It's going to the Senate, and the Senate, they have the majority there to pass it, right? And so it's gonna pass, and it's gonna become law, right? This video, though, I think is gonna play in court. The People's National Party vows to take it to the Supreme Court to get it overruled, right? On a constitutional, on constitutionality, right? One of their cases that is a strong that is gerrymandering, and it doesn't offer any benefit to the people of Portmore that they don't already have under the existing framework, right? So this video right here, I'm sure is gonna be played in court. And it's gonna be strong evidence, you know, against the Jamaica Labour Party and the present government, in their intent, right? Because one of the things you do in the court, you have to prove intent. And this here clearly proved intent, right? So once again, we're gonna see how that play out when everything unfolds, you know. So Portmore is gonna become a parish, you know, at least for a little bit, or may not in the event that they can get an injunction, right? If they can get an injunction to make it remain just a community until everything plays out, you know, through the constitutional courts all the way up the ladder, you know, in that regard. Otherwise, it's going to become a parish, right? My take on it, though, and this is what I've been saying on many other platforms, you know, whether through chats or calling in on other platforms, is that why do we need a 15th parish? Right? We have 14 parish, right? Already. And all of them are struggling. All of them are struggling, you know, in whichever area you want to point at. You know, I'm sure if you go to Jamaica right now, you're gonna find a brownout somewhere. And brownout, I mean light gone. You know, somewhere don't have water, right? Or if you have water, you have it today, you don't have tomorrow, so you can't even count on it, right? Road bad, you know, bridge drop down, you know what I mean? You don't have airplanes taking off in each parish, right? That means some of them not at the airport, right? You don't have train running through the country, right? You know, going from parish to parish, right? There's so many issues going on throughout the 14 parishes that we already have. So why do we need a 15th? So we can create another bureaucracy over there. We're already wasting money on government bureaucracy, right? That means the system is clogged with irrelevant labor force, and I'm talking about just government, right? So what are you gonna do now? You're gonna create another bureaucracy over there in Portmore now. You know, when they, you know, build that out in terms of municipality, mayor, or whatever divisions, they're gonna break that up now into whatever constituency they're gonna break that now up into. So member of parliament, how many member of parliament you're gonna have? How you gonna chop that up? We don't know that. Right, and then know the different divisions that it takes for a city, a parish to run. Right, you need a hospital. You know what I mean? You need I don't know if they have a police station over there, but you're gonna need police station. You're gonna need post office. You're gonna need everything. Right. And not to mention, you know, like we are calling people, you know, permanent secretaries, where we just work on a parish level, not at the overall government, you know, like cabinet level, but just on a local level. That's another bureaucracy installed. That's all right now, which with places already clog up all over the place with government bureaucracy. So me no think Jamaica need another parish, because as I say, we have 14 already struggling. 14 already struggling, right? Jamaica don't have a proper sewer system. We don't have a proper water distribution system. We don't have a proper electrical distribution system, right? We don't have proper road network throughout every parish that you can think of. It's not like you have a few parishes pretty and the rest of them ugly. All of them ugly with potholes and them kind of things, right? Schools. right? We are struggled there, so, right? So this is a terrible idea. I can't see no other reason why them need it than what Everett Wamit and himself say, is to control the municipality and control government or earn another seat or protect somebody who already have a seat over there with them I try if keep. You know, or install somebody over there with them I try if put over there. I don't see any other benefit. And as Fitz Jackson said, there is a there's already what him call it? There's already protections in place from a time. Right? There's already protections in place for a time. For all the things that they said this new move will achieve. So me not agree with it. I don't agree with it. I just think them need to scrap it, and whichever judge, I don't want to make a decision for whatever judge, but I just think, and to me, them have enough evidence to overturn it. That's in my view, right? So me I go left with this. So we don't need a new one. We should have a 15 parish because we have 14 already that nah go nowhere. And unlike so we have skyscraper in every single parish. You know? I would say we now no plane a fly out of there in each parish. You know? Drains want clean, river want clean, you know. Ecosystem want protection in every other parish. You know, people want work in every other parish. So we're gonna create another one for what? It's not in our benefit the country. So it don't really make no sense. Right? Anything that benefit the country don't make no sense. And that's where I'm gonna leave that part. Okay? Let me see yes or no. There's another thing I want to cover yes or no. I know, so I can't find it. Oh, wait there. Can't find it, you know. Me go find it, but me start as so now, right? And me go show that video, right? So them just closed down White River rafting, right? So if you don't know about White River is the border, right? That river is what splits St. Anne and St. Mary in terms of the border, right? It's smack in the middle of St. Anne and St. Mary. So you have, go towards St. Mary, right? When me there, you also have a Texaco gas station. So right, so on your right. So drive go towards St. Mary, which St. Mary is east, right, of St. Anne. So go eastbound. You pass the Texaco gas station. Right at the Texaco gas station, you have a right turn where you turn off. You go exchange. Right? You go up looking further. On the same stretch there, so you pass over one bridge. And right underneath the bridge is White River. And underneath there, so you have rafting. Right? A lot of people call it watching. I don't know if you know. Most of the attractions in St. Mary is also called Ocho Rios, just like you would have San Suzy, because San Suzy is after you pass Right River going east. So there's that in a St. Mary. You have Couples Beach Resort, which is called Couples Ocho Rios. Right? You also have Boscobel Beach, which is called Boscobel Beach Ocho Rios. I don't know why they don't want to get St. Mary what is due to them, you know? A St. Mary. So yeah man, all them there so they are St. Mary. So Yeah, them lock it down. So that's another source of livelihood we're gone for a lot of people. We make, a honest living there, right? Them say it's illegal because people don't have license to do it, and them say a lot of war break out. So I'm gonna show one video where them say go on, and in the meantime, me go find one next video for sure, Right, I think me delete the other video there. Let me see what going on so now. Do this so. Alright. Do it here so now. Do that one here so now. And the one day and that one. Oh gosh. I know say it look like me just delete the video more and show. Oh, me so stupid. Alright. Let me find the video back again. And tell you one more and tell you where the White River.
So you can go ahead and.
Okay. Let me see, yes or no. Other video, so. Alright, let me just go and show that one, Let me do this, Alright, just go and hold that one, the people.
Good morning, my name is Sebastian Williams. I'm an operator, raft license captain in the White River.
How long have you been on the White River?
I'm there from 2018.
2018?
Yeah, from 2020.
Yeah, okay. Alright, so based on the announcement that was made, illegal rafters are being asked to migrate the river. The clothes are asking that you pick up jobs with other proprietors elsewhere. How do you feel about that?
I feel away, because watch out now, that's when you just started thing. When you just started, we have a Team Jamaica man down at Old Cheerios. Team Jamaica place where name Mr. Chung and Mr. Ching and Mr. Wayne one name. Him collect a lot of money from us. A lot. Every time him come around, we have a $300 in a US game. So when do him build 3 different offices down here, him give we go ahead for even have more raft on the river. Him give we go ahead. So when do he make we have 3 offices. So each time he come from the 3 offices, them a $300 him a collect. So when I wonder now if today me never see him come to represent we. We say him give we go ahead and we can operate and we can do a thing. Him send him second. So right when him second basically I say him don't know nothing about that and we need to move from the space which is they want to send in some place so we're not even sure if the people have really and truly employ with it for work for them that we can have a job and remember we have kids. Right now my son just started school. Yo, I tell you, it's been a while I not got lock up, so the rafting I do enough for me. They feed me, keep me active in the idea. And night time I go on my bed and I get up active in the idea again. So when them are going to take away this from me or from we now, it don't look good and jewelness. It don't look good. Really and truly need it. Alright, them must say gunshot and fire down here. Which is not a raft captain a fire door shot. We have beg you, Andrew from morning, say please open up your business and give you some proper security, like police to turn up. Remember, say we have office and we have pay the team Jamaica man money. Every time they come, they collect them 3 bills and then how much money. That the money they can come together and pay for security, pay for insurance, pay for protection for tourists and we. So I don't know what they might try to say. We can come together as we and pay for our own things. So what they might try to do, they might try to push you out and push you in a them friend place. Because they know say them friend don't really want we up there. We are got dead for hungry and joyless. And we really and truly need some help by the White River rafting. Please give me some strength, bro. I'm out.
With a white lady, they had to do my thing. You know? Not against white people, but me not talk about you today, you know? We are dealing with some Jamaica business right now. Alright, let me see what I go on, yes or no. Yeah, other video here me they want to start with, you know, but me I go show it right now. Me I go show that one.
So as you've seen in this video, guys, where they had a dispute on the raft, so persons have been complaining, visitors have been complaining that, you know, harassment and, you know, fights have been breaking out on the White River in St. Anne's, and so, you know, TPDCO went ahead and destroyed all those rafts.
The situation there is completely out of control. We have stabbings, people pulling guns on other people and whatever. What we're doing is to remove the bad elements, the people who are criminally minded, and ensure that we can at least help the good elements. So the good elements, we're going to help them to build back and get back whatever and whatever. That's fine. Consultations with them. We had many discussions. The police had many discussions about what is coming, and they did not take it seriously because they think government is just all talk. If we do not get arrest the disorderly state of affairs, everything will fall apart and the whole industry will fall apart, which will hurt everyone.
Wake up and come here and come say the police and the soldiers, them are destroy raft. There's not a heads up now, nothing at all. We just come and see our operation getting mash up. We are CPR trained. We go to TPDCO. All right, them tell us certain things we need to do and we do it. So I don't say why. I go to TPDCO and now I can't operate my raft. All right, so that means TPDCO have to refund my money and order the guys them.
So you heard the strategies of tourism, Mr.
Okay, me nah go too deep in them video right there, so you know, we just grab some video and show some video, you get me I say. Just so we can get the proper context of what really going on. So you see the two brother argue with each other. One run off, we don't know where he run go for. We don't know if he run go for knife, machete, or a gun, or whatever the case may be. So that's one of the issue with them citing that is going on over there, right? Badmanism, you know, bullyism. Or the man them just treat the rafting thing like a taxi, right? You know, they meet the tourists at one part and grab them on them and fling them on the raft or whatever the case may be. Me don't know if for that, you know. But it's a cutthroat business because what you know, I mean cutthroat means it's figuratively, you know. It's it's a precarious thing, you know. But as you can hear, the other gentleman in the previous video saying that they are paying money to TPDCO, right? And him said there's a Chinese man will come collect them money, 300 US, them come collect, right? And them give them some form of license and things like that. Yes, I don't agree with the violence. I think if you're gonna deal with rafting and tourism, it needs to be a safe environment for everybody involved, not just the tourists, but also the raft captains or whomever is involved, right? You know, so The breaking up and taking away of the raft, I don't agree with that though. Because it's people's livelihood. You know what I mean? And if you live if you live at one part, you live in a place where you're paying for rent, then the rent still due at some point, you know. If you have kids, your kids is gonna be hungry. And if they're not hungry, whatever them want, them are gonna ask for feed anyway with expectations of receiving whatever they're asking for. That's just how kids are. Kids are just innocent. They don't really know what a clock has strike, as my grandmother would have said. Right? They just know say, I want sweetie, you know, I want that tidy, or I'm hungry. And you are my parent and you're supposed to feed me. Right? Monday morning, me need to go to school. The school fee need to pay, you know, things like that. So I think that's destroying the rafts is overboard. Even if you're confiscated, even though I don't agree with confiscating the rafts, even if you confiscate them, you take them on storage, so store them somewhere so you can give them back. Proper accountability of the rafts, you know, label them or something like that, or name and phone number, whatever the case may be, so you can return them whenever. Because you hear the gentleman who's in charge of TPD code said them are go do the get them back a chance at some point down the line when them you know fix whatever them are go fix. But then what you do is that no, you get the people them more startup costs, right? They're gonna incur more startup costs because they already have a built raft. So now they have to go find ways and means where they have to go buy bamboo, or they have to go hunt bamboo and transport it there so them can build their raft. Or they build them raft from home and pay somebody for not cheap. Everybody want money, so that's another startup cost again. Yeah, incur upon the people them. I mean, no, you now get them back no money for them thing. So I agree with breaking it up, are busting down their raft, or busting up their raft. Me think say you should have make them continue. But as the people are saying that you guys are making adequate money. Right, that's what these money is supposed to go on. Any fees supposed to go towards improving the activities that is going on there. So whether it's insurance, so why are you collecting the people's money? What does that what do you tell the people that the money is going towards when you're collecting the money? Because as far as I know, when you're collecting money for something, you know, like I go into other countries and I go to like waterfalls. And you have this guy in a large hat collecting money, and he said, "Hey, look, this is an environmental fee. It's to keep the thing. So if you guys leave your trash, so you need somebody to to clean it up, because we don't want you know trash floating down our rivers." And I agree with that. You know, here's your 50 pesos or whatever you charge to clean up the environment or maintain the environment. Right? So what are you charging the people for? Right? So if a $300 and a $300 can only clean up the environment, you probably need to charge them a little bit more so them can have some insurance, they can have proper life vests. I actually covered this in a video before, but that one was about the Blue Lagoon. It's the same thing over here, right? Get proper security, security if you will, you know, as a deterrent. Or pay the police department, you know, that excess money can go, you know, look at 2 pence can go towards, you know, the police department to put a police out there. So both the rafters and the tourists can feel safe. But I don't believe in destroying things, man. There's a proper way to deal with things, and this heavy-handed approach, and you know, the least little thing where I can beat you over your head. I don't agree with that, you know, and we just come tear up everything. I don't agree with that, because as people need to live, and it's already hard enough to survive in a country that is in a recession. a country that is in a recession, right? That means the economy is going downwards, it's contracting, right? And highly inflated. Everything is priced out of this world, you know. And price is sticky upwards. Like once the price go up and come down, regardless of what force is, you know, either forcing it up or forcing it down, or whenever the force is there to force it down. Nobody not drop them price. Once it gone up, it gone up. You know? It's been reported that, you know, the government, the BOJ cut interest rate and the banks no want to drop interest. Banks supposed to react to that type of thing. When the BOJ cut interest rate, it simply means that the bank's supposed to drop the interest rate. So when people set price, because of whatever pressures that forces price to go up, then price go up. But then on the same token, when this pressure is forcing price down, then price supposed to go down, and it's supposed to resist that. You get me I say? But it's hard for people to survive. The people them depressed. You know, that's why them so haggish sometimes. For the local tourists them where, you know, you did ain't make $150 from a man, and you say one tourist will come and you say, yo, that one you have to come with me, you know, Jano. You go fight over it, but it don't really make no sense anyway. So we need strict law enforcement over there and crime deterrent. That's what we need over there. Is deterrence, right? And a little bit of accountability. You know, make some arrests of the ones who are causing mischief, and then make the others proceed. A simple thing like that, you know, you don't need to stop the whole thing, because as I don't like the people in them illegal. Once you watch the video, you realize it's not an illegal thing. The people are paying their fees, and they expect to operate. They expect to make money. So leave them, let them make money without the bad forces. Weed out the bad weed, right? And keep the ones who are acting accordingly. You know? So, me disagree with that. But and as me say, the country is in a recession. You know? I called in, and I didn't call in. I commented on a program this morning. Can you have, what you call it? No, is it this morning? No, yesterday morning. This program here, Portland Spice with Colin Bell. We tune into him program from time to time, and what I like about this program, you can interact. You can type up, as you can see right here. This is me right here, JMRB Media, and I asked a question in the chat, and him just put it up there and ask this brother here is one of the lead economists in Jamaica. My question was, do you think the law of depreciation, diminishing returns, right, is affecting the Jamaican economy? Because one, the Jamaican economy is in recession, but there's no way the economy should be in recession when you have full employment, and full employment is anything less than 5%. Unemployment, 5% or less unemployment, the country is in full employment. So you have a country in full employment, but still you have a recession. The recession is going backwards. That means you're not getting as much productivity out of all the people that you have employed. So there's a thing we call law of diminishing returns. are diminishing. Let me see if I find another term here to yeah, another term for it is law of diminishing marginal productivity or marginal product. And it says the law of diminishing marginal product is an economic principle that states that output increases at a decreasing rate when more of a variable input is used. That means the more of the input, right? The production increase at a decreasing rate. So let me kind of explain that now. Yeah, you start a company, right? And you sell. I want something simple. Yeah, sell bag juice. But you need people to manufacture the bag juice, mix it and put it in the bag and freeze it, and you need people to say I have 10 people. Right? So you hire 10 people, you know, and the production of bag juice increased by about 10% or 20% or 25%. So you now think to yourself, say, no, if I hire 5 more people, me can get even more productivity and me can make more money. But instead you hire the 5 more people, now you have 15 people producing, and the production is increasing, you know. So you're building on top of that 25%, but it's only increasing at 2% or 3%. So that's why you would have constitute the law of diminishing marginal productivity, or law of diminishing returns. That the more input is the less of an increase you have on the overall productivity. Right? So let's put this back here. You have like this. Yeah, you have a country at full employment, but the economy is going backwards. That has to constitute law of diminishing marginal productivity. That means the more people you have employed. So there's some factors. Is either the people not properly trained, or whatever the case may be. So you have Ralston Hyman here, and he's gonna try to answer that question. I asked some more questions, but this is an important one that I want to cover, right? Here. So I could go in that one.
I watched him for 6 years at the same cabinet. He never understood him and say, well, listen, when me go there, I make sure me fix procurement so me can spend the money, because I go there at the time when the recession is on. Instead to say, boy, I accept that fate, I can't do anything about it, I'm only going to spend 60 million. So business.
Somebody else is saying, I would like to know if the law of diminishing returns affecting the economy.
Yeah, man. Especially in terms of the labor force, the law of diminishing marginal productivity. Yes. Simple. And let's just explain to you, listen. You saw a man named J.B. Clark. He used to teach at Columbia University. Apart from the Nobel Prize, well, the biggest prize you can win in economics is the J.B. Clark medal. Mm-hmm. He developed the concept, said, you remember your grandmother said too many rats so they got good one.
Exactly,
so,
yes.
If you have more people at work and you get less per man, it means that the thing will go down.
Yeah,
so
devalue.
It means something wrong. Yeah. So it means that the man them not fully trained and not properly organize them, because the more people you have at work and the more output you're supposed to get. Mm-hmm. So although we have more people at work, the lowest level of unemployment, we get less output to the part that the economy is declining. The economy should be booming. So I'm right. So all them concepts and I can't understand that. So I tell you from a long time, saying no about economics. So if you not spend to train your labor force, equip your labor force with modern technology and them things. If you now make your infrastructure extremely modern, then you won't get investments and you won't get economic growth. So that's harm to the economy, diminishing marginal productivity.
Colin, if the economy is down, then why the government is not streaming the worker?
All right, so there you have a more than qualified economist answering that question, and basically I agree with what I asked. It's what I thought, therefore I asked the question. But it's because I know a little bit of economics. Him is way more qualified than me to actually speak and expound to the wider public on that question. So I pose the question and him answer it, and that's where it's at. And the one of the reasons why I asked this question too is that the government believe in what you call double downing and double downingness, if for want of a better word. I mean, I have better words, but sometimes you have to create your own. You get me? Sometimes you have to create your own. But them believe in a double downingness. If one thing work for a little while, then just continue, because them say, see there, remember say it did work round there, so and so them just more right, not realizing that more of it not necessarily means success. Or it's only success to a point. So that's where you have a country going backwards, but you have a government coming and say, yeah man, we have never achieved full employment in years, and see that the economy is fit, it are going well. Foreign investment are coming, and but foreign investment are coming, but them not pay the people them no good wage. So therefore, if the people don't have money in their pocket for spend on the economy, that's gonna decrease productivity, Cause at the end of the day, it's dollars and cents. So if the people are earning crumbs, then that's what they're gonna spend back in the economy. It's crumbs, because GDP is measured in dollars and cents. So there need to be some negotiation when the people, when you bring in foreign investors, there needs to be like better negotiation to pay the people living wages, not even just living wages where them can feel comfortable about themselves. Like, I think that hotel workers supposed to be, or hotel jobs, excuse me, forgot to hit my cough button. Yeah. Hotel jobs, they make quadrillions of dollars, right? In US money. Right? So jobs like that's supposed to be one of the best jobs in Jamaica. So if you can pay, if you're making so much money, you can at least afford to pay the people at least, $10 an hour. I'm talking about US dollars. Right now, hotel workers or Jamaican workers are earning pretty close to about $2 an hour. So if they work 8 hours, they make $16 US. Convert that 16 times 160, you calculate that. Right? And that's what they make. Right? So therefore they don't have enough money to go buy the flour and the sugar and the rum and the whatever the case may be, if you spend back in the economy, we can stimulate growth, right? One of the things is that the government are over collect tax, right? Them say no new taxes, but what them do, they just broaden the base and then bring everybody in at the fold. The hand cat man, the man who sell peanut on the roadside, the rafter, everybody have to pay a tax. So even though them not coming with a new tax mechanism, if you say, okay, all right, we're gonna add another GCT over here, or we're gonna raise GCT by this, they're still using the current percentage to collect from more people, bringing more people in the fold. right? And that's how they collect more tax. But when you collect more tax and you're not using it, spending it back in the economy, then less growth. If you're using it to pay down debt, right? That's one of the things that this conversation that I showed was about too. He explained that the government are racing to pay off debt, right? They can pay less on the debt and spend more on infrastructure and some back in the economy in whichever way they're spending it in the economy to stimulate growth, right? And in capital investments, right? Roads, bridges, things like that. Who's gonna make modernizing the economy, right? Those are things that stimulate growth, right? But is very important, and as you can hear him say, like Jamaica don't really think about the government, not really think about those things. Law of diminishing returns or diminishing marginal productivity. These are laws. These are scientific. It can't change, right? These things are studied over and over and over and over and over and over again until you're stuck and like, okay, this works in every way, which way you put it. There's no way to disprove this. That's what laws are, and I'm not talking about the laws that you go in Parliament and enact. I'm talking about laws, scientific law, just like law of gravity, right? This is just a law of economics that you table it, you model it in every way, shape, or form, and it still come out the same way. So that's one of the things where I beat Jamaica, and this government for just let go off of this double downing type of thing and just deal with, try to find new growth strategies, right? Try to find new growth strategies, right? Another thing we want to touch upon, right? I don't know if by now everybody's supposed to hear it. That $1.5 million they were Biden was given, the Jamaican government to promote botanist. People are gonna look at that already so pretty, it's botanist, right? So a lot of people probably go look that up to see what that really mean. But yeah, it's LGBTQ. Yeah, for promote that in a Jamaica, as everybody is well propagated, is well known. Everybody know that Jamaica is kind of a homophobic place, right? Nobody not dead to that, but the sentiments, from people, is that that kind of something there, not for their Jamaica, right? Not that's what I believed, but I'm just saying what is. Right? But the question is where the government do with that money there. Because, the USAID has came under fire, for wasting money, and that's one of the things that was listed out all over the United States in all over Fox and all kind of channels, and in different presentations by government officials that, hey, look, the USAID is wasting money, and this is one of the reasons. I can say with absolute certainty that there's a person that has been talking about this for a long time. Footer Hype has been talking about this for a long time, and it's been falling on deaf ears. But there you have it. Now the truth come out, courtesy of Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency, Doge, right? Or Doge. Right, that's what I'm in charge of. Some semi-government thing, I think him one day in a government fully, but him say, yo, me go take on that Doge thing, yeah, and me go see if me can make things more efficient, and him find that out and say, yo, you wanna see what I go on over here, so. The thing when me ask the Jamaican government do is where that money they there, because as far as I'm concerned, the LGBT people them, PQ people them still living at the gully. Them there in the gully same way, you know. So want to the proper housing and things like that for them. You know, take them out of the gully. People don't want them in them community, so build a community, because here them build a community for them too, you know. So build a community for them too, so them can go do them thing, you know, and have proper housing and proper hygiene or whatever the case may be, because you now get rid of them. You know? So take them out of the gully, so where that money there go towards, you know? That is my question. The 1.5 million US there. Which part that go? That me want to know, because I not say nothing promoting nothing, you know. So I wonder if them just take that year they put them quick, because that them do more time, you know. Them take the ear them, and especially if them not agree with the movement that the aid is far, them take the money anyway. So them just see it as free money, and them farm shell companies, and them just fling that money there in other shell company there and call it for them. So what I like to know where that money, if anybody, if there anybody can clear up where that money they go and kind of put out a report for say, yo, this money and this is what that money I achieve. Because we don't see nothing in advance as it relates to LGBTQ in Jamaica. So what happened to the money? We need some answers with that. And that's my commentary on that. You know, where money go. You know, that's just simply put. You know. Other things, you know, lighter stuff in the media. Well, not light. It's still kind of government, kind of politics thing. You know. Kip Rich, the artist. You know, everybody know Kip Rich as a very prominent dancehall artist. Very lyrical, very eclectic. You know. Won many clash at Sting. Several hit songs, you know, back in the days, late 90s, early 2000s. You know, one of them man where say where that is reported to be write a lot of hit songs for Elephant Man back in a theme heyday when he was tearing up the charts. A lot of those songs was written by Kip Rich. Anyway, Kip Rich came under of a lot of criticism for a dub plate that he did for the alleged Dan that was killed in Spanish Town, Tickman. He did a song with some words that I can't repeat, or a dub plate, unreleased dub plate, I should say, right? He's been arrested and charged, but bonded out. He bonded out, but he's been arrested and charged and is due in court for breaching a law, a constitutional law that was enacted or put in the Constitution around 2014, that you can propagate or promote gang activity, right? You can't promote gang leader or gangs. So that's a breach of a constitutional law, right? That's the law that they say in breach. I think that law, well, first of all, let me say I don't support gangs and gangs activities. I don't support Dan and Danmanship. You know, me's a country youth. And when me grow up, that not their country. Everybody live free. You live with your door open. See, and everybody live good with each other. You know, when nobody a pressure you or press your button until you say you have to live that way, yeah, and you have to do this and you have to do that. That's my upbringing. So me no, I'm not a proponent of gang activity. Me no promote or propagate gangs. But on the other hand, that law I think is too broad as it relates to artistry. Right? You listen to this song, Kiprit say we in this song. So that would give you probably give the impression that him is a member of the gang. Right? Some of the thing where him say is that the gang going to retaliate. And it's not going to go like that. He must say we. Right? You can write a story in different ways, you know. In different angles. You can go at it in the third person. You know, when you say he, she, they, or them. Right? Or you can go at it in the first person. So it's like you're saying I, we, us. Right? So that's a literary skill that is employed in dancehall music. And a lot of people don't realize that dancehall music, you know, is actual literary, you know, they're actually using literary device, you know, like a man would sing a song and he would say boom. You know? Bang bang boom, or you know. One of the thing you have a song say when I'm gonna sing a song say blaze up the channel make it so like it might describe you puffing a chalice, but when you puff a chalice, you know, remember say a chalice, you know, there's water involved, and when you puff in the chalice, the water make a gurgle sound, you know. So I say blaze up the channel make it go so. That's what you call onomatopoeia, right? It's like when you hear the sound, you can actually depict what it actually is. You know, the crashing of the ocean, you know, against the rocks or something like that, you know. Splashing, dashing, you know, splish, splash, or things like that. Pitter patter, you know, that's the raindrops on the rooftop, you know. You know, Ernest Smith, pitter patter, falling down on my rooftop, you know. It might describe the raindrops. So there's certain things that you call onomatopoeia, right? You know, there's metaphor where you say I am something, I am this, I am that, or a simile, like you're comparing something between two things using as or like, right? Which you can use yourself to say, I am like, as strong as, you know, tough as a rock, you know, solid as a rock. That's a simile, right? You can just say, I am a rock. That would be a metaphor. So they're actually using literary devices in the songs. Another thing with them called double entendre and things like that. It's poetry. But it can be in the first person, it can be in the third person. And in this instance, it was in the first person. You know, to me, I see it as more of a warning, because he's saying that, you know, we gonna retaliate, but he's saying that gangs do retaliate. So it's a warning. When him say blue light, it's a warning to the police. Hey, look, gangs do retaliate. Gangs do retaliate. So it can be a warning. You know, they can fight it from that angle. I mean, I don't know what kind of angle. I don't know what kind of angle am I fight it from. They gonna fight it from? I hear Kiprich do an interview on TVJ, and him I say, well, him construct him do pieces of song and him send it to the people them and them come put it together. So him I say, yo, me do some lyrics over here so, and some people construct some of that sitting over here so, and then put it together. So really and truly, and really my song. I don't really think that I go stand to the test. You know, then better come up with something else. And I feel the best way to fight it is to say it's a warning. And then also challenge the constitutionality of that act. You know, or that law. I hear Deanne Jackson Miller reported on it, you know, on her podcast. Right? And she's a lawyer. And she said it's a little bit too broad, you know. It can go over into a lot of things. You know, if you want to find out exactly what it is, go watch our video. Right? But criticize her upon it though. But criticize her upon it. But him can challenge the constitutionality of the law, you know. I think it's a wrong move by the law enforcement. I think it's a wrong move by the government or the powers that may be. You know, I think they need to come up with proper crime fighting strategies to deter crime and also to prevent crime or to and gang activity or minimize crime and gang activity. You know, this old strategy of scapegoating artists, you know, i.e. Vibes Cartel. Them say Guys Cartel was a gang and responsible for over 100 murders. Up until this point, we can't see no evidence. Right? Tommy Lee, them say was a gang leader too. Them lock him up and gun charge. So they never stop until him getting pan something. Right, that never reduced crime. It never reduced gang activity, so that never work. Right, them 13 years for Vice Cartel, that's well documented. Them same was a gang leader, that never reduced crime. So the latest local problem the government have them go along for the artists. Right. Proper crime, proper strategies, right? One of the things I think will work is that you have to get the people, the majority of the people on the side of the police. How do you get the people on the side of the police, right? Because you need snitching in the society, you know. Or what we call snitches, but you need people calling the police and reporting gang activity and reporting crimes, petty theft. All of these things. But in order for people to report, they have to feel safe that when they go talk to the police, you know, they have anonymity, or what they call it, they're anonymous. You know, because I can't pronounce the next part of it where it sound better. But, you know, they have that. They also, you know, yeah, you just have to get the people on the side of the government. On the side of the government, but you also have to get the people on the side of the police and law enforcement. And locking up and charging their favorite artists is not gonna work in that way. Yeah, man, locking up and charging one of their favorite artists or their favorite artists with an S at the end is not gonna let me kind of wet my throat here. You late and you know, and me I drink all of them energy something then nah go sleep. But anyway, that now gonna help, you know, sway the people on the side of law enforcement. We have to come up with a strategy. Sit down and plan it out. And that's the thing, we're not too lazy. Sit down and plan it out and find a way to come up with strategies, right, that win the people over and get the people on the side of police and law enforcement. I may say police and law enforcement because police is not the only law enforcement body or mechanism out there, right? So that's the only way you're gonna beat crime. That's the only way you're gonna beat crime. That's the only way you're gonna beat gang activity. Oh, the brother got killed by the police. I don't know. Them say my dad and them kill him, but me don't know. I don't hear about no shootout we go on. And I don't believe either that you can just go and go kill somebody and say them a gang leader. Whether it's widely reported or not, he might do something. He might point a gun at you or try to take your life. That's when deadly force is authorized. When there's an imminent threat to your life and the life of others. Imminent, that means somebody point a gun, somebody a chop, run down somebody with a machete or a knife or something like that. Or a deadly weapon. At the moment, that's when you warrant using deadly force. You can't just catch somebody and say, this is a notorious gang leader, him need for dead. No. That no work. Yeah, if you catch him and you know say him a notorious gang leader, you bring him in, you charge him, and you use the evidence and the proper procedure for convict him. Or her. Because you have woman gang leader too, you know. But I think say them not there out there. You know? That's what I believe in. Because otherwise you can't just put down ship on anybody and just carry them in. Or just not even carry them in. Put down ship on them and just kill them and say, yeah man, I done man, him for dead. You know? If Cartel never famous, then probably would have put them over kill him. Same to with Tamale. Tamale same in fear for him life. Cartel the same fear for him life too. So I think it's that the law they need to be looked at. Right? And you can have laws to prevent gang activity and prevent basically what they're trying to do, they're trying to de-glamorize. That's basically what they're trying to do. They're trying to de-glamorize gang membership, gang activity. But I feel like there's a better way to do it rather than catching artists and lock them up and take away their livelihood, which in turn bring foreign exchange into the country. You know, so that's my take on that part of it. You know? And yeah. Proper crime fighting strategies. That's what I think should be employed. Yeah, man. Okay, so what I go on, I said no. What? Yes or no? Come in now, you don't yes, sir. How I go on? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So that's how we are in it tonight, you know? Yeah, man. So thanks for your ears. Thanks for listening in. And whomever go listen later, thanks for listening again. You know? And as we say, only if you like the thing, you know, and you want to see the thing go further, like, you know, actually like the thing, click the thumbs up button, you know, and you know, subscribe if you like me and what me is all about and what the channel is all about. Then subscribe, you know, and let's keep it going. You know what I mean? And tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. If you come back, come tell me. Say that I'm awesome. Yeah, man. But otherwise, you know, just go and do your thing. Yeah, man. Give thanks. See it there.